Hello, everyone. Amy here, project manager for Bilingual Montessori. And as usual, for our community conversations, I'm going to give you a little project summary of what we're doing here. Bilingual Montessori grew from the struggles that our founding partners kept hearing from different Montessori people about how best to make bilingual education work in Montessori schools. So this came out of discussions and struggles that our partners kept hearing. And here is a photo where this was at the open space session led by Mary Kay McCabe, one of our founding partners, at the Lead Montessori Conference in Prague in 2019. And this is basically the origin of Bilingual Montessori. After many shared discussions, we applied for a 3-year grant to support our project through Erasmus+, and we launched Bilingual Montessori in February of 2022. Our target groups for this project are working with the specific needs of the Montessori guides, language specialists, and school leaders. And we offer a whole school perspective approach in how to best implement this in the classroom, and giving these 3 different people the tools to do so. And so we look at 3 different areas for this approach. Our project outcomes will give us a design process field guide that will share effective classroom and administrative practices from Montessori schools. Second language acquisition will be for supporting the goal of bilingual education. We also are developing a 3-level online training course based on the field guide for those wanting to build or improve a bilingual Montessori school with support. And third, we're creating the community for all of us to engage and to practice and support each other through different activities such as our community conversations, our social media groups, and our website, bilingualmontessori.com, which I think you've all seen since you registered for this event. So briefly, I will show you, this is our team, if you don't already know us. And each of us has our bio on our website if you'd like to learn more about us. Also, each one of you are really an essential part of our journey. So please keep in touch with us via our website and on our social media. Let us know your needs, your ideas, and your feedback about the project. We love to hear from you. So reach out if you have something to share or if you have any questions.
Right now, we would like to do our first mentee poll. Those of you who've joined us before know that we really like these mentee polls that you can do very easily. And so, is that ready? Yes, here we go. So the question is, what country are you now working in, or where do you live now? Because it's common that many of us are living and working in countries that are not the countries of our birth. So we like to get a feeling of where everyone is joining us from right now. So we have a lot of people from Italy, not surprising since our speaker is from Italy, Mexico, England, Austria, Czech Republic, Switzerland. I didn't answer, but I'm in Spain.
We also have someone from Greece that messaged in the chat. So
okay.
Welcome from Greece.
Okay, great. Now I would like to begin by introducing everyone to our speaker today. We're very honored to have her. She's someone who has worked as an English language coordinator in a Montessori school in Como, Italy, which is in northern Italy, for those of you who aren't that familiar with the country. And she now technically is retired, but continues working at least full time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she's doing, and actually that is just coming together now, I wanted to take advantage and announce to everyone, which is that she has been working with a group of colleagues in northern Italy to develop a common English as a second language curriculum for Montessori. They've also been in touch with other Montessori organizations in Italy and had proposed kind of joining forces, and the national organization very recently accepted their proposal and has placed Licia Arnaboldi in charge of this new working group that will be, hopefully during the course of this school year, they'll be creating at least the basic structure of what can be an English curriculum in Montessori in Italy. So I find this really exciting. I was really excited when Licia told me the other day, because this has been a topic that's on my mind, because I'm aware that there are people who are doing this either just in your individual school, you're adapting and creating curriculum, or maybe with more of a regional group, or maybe even a national group like Licia is working with now. And I've wanted to, and I'll put this in the newsletter too, but I'll just take advantage today to invite people, if you've done this kind of work, or if you're in the process of doing it, please write to me and let me know. And certainly if you have anything finished, then share it with me. And you can write to me at hello@bilingualmontessori.com. Then we can, if you contact me, I can set up a time we can have an interview via Zoom, and I can ask you more questions and you can explain in more detail what you've done. But this is going to be very valuable for us because as Amy mentioned before, we're creating what we're calling a field guide for second language in Montessori environments. And we're pulling together examples of all different kinds of things, of materials, of curriculum, of models, of teaching. And excuse me, drink a little water. And recently I had the inspiration that it would be wonderful to include examples of these curriculum, either as their own section or as an appendix, because it could serve as inspiration to others. So, sorry, something is in my throat. It shouldn't be. So just so I can turn it over to Licia. Licia has more than 15 years experience as the English coordinator at this Montessori school in Como. The rules of Italian education only allow them to offer a limited number of hours per week in English. And so that motivated her and her colleagues to think of creative ways beyond the classroom that they can infuse language learning and cultural exchange into the lives of the children. So I'll let Licia take over and I'll get something else to drink. Sorry about that.
Okay. So good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity that Bilingual Montessori offers to introduce not only my school, but also our experience in the fields of language acquisition, Key Competence 2, which is the multilingual one, Key Competence 8, which is the cultural and artistic competence, and also what we call in our school the intercultural dimension. And now I have a presentation that I would like to share with you, and I hope soon. Okay, I think I think you can see it. Okay, thank you. Okay, now, first of all, I wanted to present my school. Okay, this is the first, okay, this is the general view of my school. Just a few words. This picture was taken in our open air theater in our school garden. The children were all wearing something white or something red or both, because we were having our Christmas show. This was the general, so it was the dress rehearsal that we had. So this picture was taken last December. And my school is called Associazione Scuola Montessori, and it's an Italian school based in Como, Italy, in the region of Lombardia, and it was founded in 1962. And at first, the school was very, very small, and it was hosted in a villa with a park by the lake, which is Lake Como, as you can see in the picture. Now we have about 280 pupils from nursery to lower secondary school. So we have nursery, children's house, primary elementary school, and lower secondary school. So we have children from 1 year old to 14 years old. And we have 60 people, about 60 people working in the school. So we have staff, a big staff. We have lots of people. We offer English as a second language, maybe with a bit of an old-fashioned term. We say in Italian that it's a foreign language. We use in Italian the word straniero, a foreign, okay, foreign language. We are a private school. It is financed by the parents, but we also comply with the national curriculum, and we are officially acknowledged by the state school system. So we comply with the national curriculum and also with the national tests. They are called invalsi. As far as English is concerned, English as a second language, we have tests in grade 5 primary school and at the end of grade 3 secondary school. We are not bilingual, but we have set in place a system, we called it a program, which is, we call it Montessori Intercultural Program, that includes in nursery and children's house, daily exposure of the children to the language in their daily routines. In children's house, we also have some small presentations in the English language for them. And then in elementary and secondary school, we have an amount of 9 hours a week per class. We have fairly large amount of teachers. They are all specialist teachers for the second language. We have one bilingual educator in nursery. We have one teacher, full-time teacher in the children's house, and 3 teachers in primary elementary school. One of them is also the coordinator. I used to be the coordinator. Now I am out. I am more of a mentor in the school, a counselor, but there is a new girl, a very nice one and very talented, that is also the coordinator and also the contact point for Erasmus projects. And then we have 2 teachers in secondary school. We offer a wide range of opportunities to acquire the second language, because 9 hours a week seem a lot. But they are not, because we are available as teachers for 9 hours a week, but we give the children the free choice. Some hours are, so to speak, mandatory, compulsory. They belong to the national curriculum and they are compulsory. But all the other hours are chosen by the kids. We are available for them. We are there for them, and they can choose. Of course, we monitor their choice, and we try to encourage them to come as much as they can, not by forcing them, but by giving them inviting, motivating activities that they like, and so they come.
Excuse me, Licia, can you just clarify? So you're saying that you, as an English teacher, you're not in the regular environment, you're in another classroom, is that right?
We have one prepared environment for English, which is we have two classrooms, one very small and one larger. And then also part of our hours are spent in class with the kids together with the class teacher. And we can work in small groups. When we are too loud, or we think that probably our activity will be a bit too loud for the rest of the class, we take the volunteer kids outside. We have large corridors and other working areas outside the classrooms, so we do that. But we also have two classrooms where we give our language and structure, vocabulary presentations. That's the place. That's our prepared environment.
Great, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Now, families, mostly Italian. So our families come mostly from Italy, the Como area, and Swiss, because Como is is on the borderline with Switzerland. And we live in a monolingual context, including most of our Swiss families, because in the southern part of Switzerland, called Canton Ticino, people speak Italian. Okay. And in the last few years, we have seen an increasing number of international families coming to our school, but still the percentage is still very low. And so the majority of our kids are Italian, and they come from Italian settings. And since we work in a very homogeneous environment, monolingual and monocultural, we have homogeneous families, we have a homogeneous school setting. Our children sometimes run the risk of having few opportunities to meet peers from other backgrounds. So as a school, we really felt the need to generate that children's positive curiosity towards different cultures, towards what's outside. And so that's why we set up an intercultural project that then became an intercultural program, which is long-term. Now, what is intercultural competence? I think, okay, I'll just spend a couple of words on it, because I know that this is something that we know as teachers. It's a combination of skills and attitudes. And if you read in the chart, all these items are something that all Montessori teachers share. We know what we are talking about when we talk about listening, observing, evaluating, using patience and perseverance, or in attitudes, respect, openness, curiosity, discovery. These are all things that Montessori teachers are supposed to know. Okay. Sorry, there is someone ringing the bell. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. I am at home, I'm not at school, that's why. Okay. Okay, sorry. But how is interculture connected with the second language? We found a very close link between the two dimensions, because in both interculture and the second language aim at reaching effective and appropriate communication with people of other cultures. So we acquire a second language to communicate, but not only communicate, to communicate effectively and in an appropriate way. And not only between us or among our group of people, but also with people from other parts of the world. And this means
one thing I think is interesting as well, and how you also explained this to me in other conversations, is that this concept also allows, it also kind of preserves the importance of the local culture and the local language as part of the exchange that's happening and the learning that's happening. So
Yes, I
go-
agree. Actually, awareness of where we come from and what our culture is, what our language is very important. Actually, that's the starting point. We certainly focus our activities on that
Mhm.
because the children have to realize, have to be aware of our traditions, our culture, and then they will develop, helped by us, but not only by us, and they will develop curiosity, positive curiosity towards the world. But certainly they develop their identity as Italian-speaking children. They are also speaking another language or more languages, and they are interested and open to and appreciate also cultural diversity. Okay, so this is a bit our goal. Okay, that's why when we talk about communication, our goal is communication, but what does it mean? It means mediation, it means understanding other people, intercultural understanding, eliciting interest and curiosity towards languages and cultures, and promoting appreciation of diversity, and also promoting respect, which is really important. Respect for each person, but also for their different linguistic profile and different traditions. Okay. Now, Maria Montessori spent a lot of words about interculture. She never used the term interculture because the term is quite recent, and so she couldn't use it because it hadn't been invented yet. But certainly her ideas are closely tied with interculture. Now, you have just 3 quotes on my slide. As a school, we focused especially on the second one, that maybe I'm reading now. The needs of mankind are universal. Our means of meeting them create the richness and diversity of the planet, and the child should come to relish the texture of that diversity. Especially this last sentence that I would like to highlight if I can. No, I can't, but that's okay. This one, the child should come to relish the texture of that diversity, has been our starting point for all the activities that we have introduced in our school. We wanted to elicit curiosity, but the positive curiosity, the joy of learning about other people, about other cultures. And as a school, all the teachers, all the school staff, every day, we don't have proper lessons on this, but it's our attitude and our skills, okay, but especially our attitudes. With our attitudes, with our behavior, we try to promote cultural self-awareness. We try to elicit respect, also giving examples. So we give practical examples on it. We try to promote openness. We stimulate curiosity and also joy of discovering new things, and also acceptance of differences. We promote inclusion at all levels. And we have also designed as a school, and also we are trying to implement it now, a special inclusion protocol, we call it. It's a document where we listed all the needs that a new child coming from abroad may have in our school, and who's going to be responsible for meeting the child's needs, and who's going to be accountable. And also we involve in the process, but besides the teachers, also the families. And on a daily basis, okay, this is done by all the teachers of the school, language 1, language 2, all of them. But as language two teachers, we have some daily activities that we carry out in our two classrooms, or directly in the classrooms. We say downstairs because they are at the lower level, so downstairs. And we have daily classroom activities. We work side by side with the class teachers, and we have discovered that our children especially love geography, history, and general culture topics. So we develop some research proposals, and we offer some activities from a different intercultural perspective. And of course, we use the second language, in this case, English. For example, this is part of our daily classroom activities as second language teachers. We call it, I just gave it a title, Breakfast in the World. First, okay, this is something that we do in second grade primary school. The class teachers speaking Italian, they speak Italian, they present the typical Italian breakfast. And from there, the concept of food supply chain, which is something that the teachers really want to emphasize. So the main goal is the food supply chain, starting from the Italian breakfast. And how do they present it? They present it especially through experience, tasting. So we eat a lot in that period. So we taste, touch, visit farms, bakeries, dairy producers, beekeepers. We also bake and cook at school. We bake bread usually, but not only. And this is something that is done by the Italian teachers. The second language teachers, the English teachers, do something similar, but with a wider perspective. So we present breakfast in the world. Yes, we also focus a lot on the English breakfast, but not only. Whenever possible, we try to present them with real stuff. So we have the children taste and eat as much as possible. But also we have videos like the one that you can see in the picture that we found on YouTube, which is very, it has a lot of impact on the children. It's very nice. And then we have books, and we have special learning material. For example, on the right, you see two of the books that we sometimes use, and then they are available on the shelves for the children to take a look at. The one on top is Italian. They are about breakfast in the world. One is in Italian and the other one is in English. Then we also prepared some material, like on the top, on the left, you see some trays that we made, and those trays have each one a flag. So they are one tray for each country that we have selected. There is a flag, and there is the typical breakfast. And actually, you say, what is a typical breakfast in Egypt? Well, we did some research, and also the video that I was showing you before, this one gave us a lot of ideas. Those pictures are on the back, have some Velcro, so the children can take them out and put them back in, matching the pictures and the words and the flags. And then you have the breakfast table with the same strategy. We prepared a table on paper with all kinds of breakfast items together with the words, and the children can choose what to put on the table. And it's just their own liking. So whatever they like, they can put on the table, and then they can transfer the activity on their own table. They have a sheet of paper where they have a table, and they can draw their own food, their breakfast food. And this is one type of activity that we have. They can do it on their own. So it's for autonomous work. And as I said, we also talk about English breakfast. And this is one other activity. It's not completed, and the picture is not 100% completed, because the words are missing, we usually complete it with the words. And 1 year, we, on the basis of this activity, we convinced our chefs in the kitchen to make a proper a traditional English breakfast with bacon and sausages and fried eggs and with baked beans and so on. Something very different from the Italian breakfast, very different. The children were quite thrilled. Then we usually make pancakes, and we also make porridge. And then while we are eating that stuff, we are trying it. We read books, like for example, for porridge, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and also The Magic Porridge Pot. It's another book that we read. Then we also have a booklet. The children can choose to make it. They usually, all of them usually make it because they have lots of fun in doing it. A book is made of about 6, 7 pages. They choose which countries they want to live in. Each page is one different country. And they choose, okay, they have to write from scratch. Okay, so the page is totally empty and they have to write. You can see here, this is the scaffolding that we give them with an example. I am in, for example, if I say Russia, I am in Russia. It's in Europe. I speak Russian. For breakfast, I eat, and they take a look at the tray, and then they copy the words from the tray. And I drink. Okay, they take a look at the tray and copy the words from the tray referring to Russia. We are talking about children in grade 2. Our children in grade 2 are not able to compose autonomously. They need a lot of scaffolding still. Okay. Then we usually finish our breakfast period with large breakfast in a restaurant, which is actually inside a vocational school near our school building. And we have a nice partnership with them. We do a lot of things together. And so we devise a menu with the children. We give it to the restaurant cooks it for us. And then one morning we take the children to the restaurant. This is the picture of our children sitting, waiting for them to be called to the buffet, where the waiters will serve breakfast. Actually, the children will pick the food, they will choose the food and ask for the food in English, or they are invited to do so. And it's a very nice opportunity for our children, for sure, but also for the waiters of this restaurant, because actually they are the students of the school. And so the school is engaged in baking and making breakfast, a different one, not the regular Italian one, but a different one. And the waiters will have to ask the children in English. So they will have to use the English language. So they benefit also from our activity, and we are happy that they do. And it's a nice partnership that we have with this school. We also have, we organize, it's not breakfast, but we organize an English dinner once a year with the children of grade 3. The children invite their parents to the same restaurant, and we have an English menu. And the children, instead of sitting and waiting to be served, they are the waiters. So our children are the waiters, and they serve the families together with the students of the school. So the students of the school will help them, and our children will just follow the example and serve the families. Then these are what I told you about is all part of our daily activities, okay? What we do, but our school also offers some second language special intercultural events. In September, we decide together, so the group of teachers decided on a calendar with special days and special intercultural events. For example, menus from the world, which is organized monthly. So once a month, we have a special day when we have a menu that is not Italian, but from a different part of the world. This is something that maybe is normal in other countries. In our monolingual context, not so normal. Actually, it's something very special. And then we have Peace Day, which is in September. Thanksgiving, that is tomorrow. So tomorrow my school will have a big event. And St. Patrick's Day in March. Then we also particularly enjoy the International Day of Books, which is in April. Then we have Indian Day and Europe Day in May. And then we host delegations of teachers and pupils. Every year we have a few delegations coming, maybe spending from 1 day to 1 week visiting our school and working side by side with our children, not only on Erasmus projects, but also on different projects. In January, we are going to host a delegation of Montessori teachers from Japan for 1 day. And we are already preparing the children to host them properly. These are the main activities that we have. We have more than these ones, but these are the ones that we repeat every day, not every day, every year. Every year we repeat these activities. Menus from the world. You can see in this picture the calendar referred to last school year. Every year in September with the kids, especially the kids of grade 5, we decide which criteria to follow in order to choose the menus. For example, 2 years ago, we decided to choose menus from all European countries, our Erasmus partner countries. Last year, we decided to include at least one country from each continent of the world, and we are repeating the same this year. Then, in class, we select the most representative recipes. Our chefs test them before making lunch. They test them because they have to adjust them to the large number of people they are going to have lunch, because we are talking about at least 280 people having the international lunch. Then, when everything is set, about 1 week before lunch, the children of grade 5 and grade 4 too of our elementary school go around from one class to another to present the menus, ingredients, names of the dishes, also grace and courtesy forms in the original languages, not only in English or in Italian, but also the other languages, and some basic geographic information about the country, the capital, the flag, these information. Sometimes they get more detailed. They keep it simple for the children in the children's house. They give more details for the older kids. And then when finally the day of the international menu comes, it's really a day of great expectation and joy. All the school staff is invited. So everybody, also the secretaries, they close their office and they are invited into the classrooms and they have lunch with the children. And we try to use the grace and courtesy forms in the original languages that we have tried to learn. Then another typical activity that we repeat every year is St. Patrick's Day in March. We started about 12 years ago when we had some English Irish teachers in our school. Some of them were Irish Montessori teachers. They were spending a training period in our school. So we decided, okay, together with them, okay, let's present the children with typical Irish festival, St. Patrick's Day. In the big picture, you see we have a well, It's an activity that all the children love because they are blindfolded. There are presents, there are mystery presents inside the well, and the children can fish one present and donate a small amount of money for charity organizations. Then our day is full of celebrations. We go to the gym and have and learn some Irish steps. Or one year, we also we received some seeds of the typical plant from Ireland, which is called shamrock, and we decided to grow some shamrock. And we really underlined the fact that these seeds were coming all the way from Ireland, and that maybe shamrock will not be able to grow in Italy because our weather conditions is usually too dry and too warm for shamrock to grow. And we were right, because not even one plant grew, but the children were prepared for that. They knew, okay, so they knew why. And so usually after lunch, of course, we have an Irish meal based on a lot of potatoes and lamb. Then we have Irish dances in the afternoon. And since we are not expert of Irish dances, we usually invite some Irish parents, Irish families that are experts, and they teach us some basic steps. Then the International Day of Books is a day that we celebrate in April, the 23rd of April, to be precise. We usually organize book markets that are totally organized and run by the teachers, by us. So we do not invite external organizations, even though it's a possibility. I mean, it's possible to do so, but we organize everything from the inside. And then the book market is run by the teachers and by the kids. And parents are also invited to come and buy as much as possible some books. And sometimes instead of a book market, we have a book crossing event. So we ask the children a few days before the International Day of Books to bring the books that they read, that they enjoyed, and that they want to donate. So they do so. The teachers collect all of them. Then we put them on display on big tables. And the day of the International Day of, so the International Day of Books, the children can come and choose a new book that they haven't read yet. And they also donate some money for the library. It's a symbolic donation. It's very little, a little amount of money. I'm talking about €1 or €2. It's just a symbolic donation. They donate money for the library or for other charity organizations. We are partners with charity organizations in India. Then during the International Day of Books, we also invite our, what we call them, international storytellers. They are students. They are about 17, 18 years old. They are on an exchange program sponsored by AFS, which is an exchange program organization. It's an international one. We have an office in Como. So we ask the office in Como if it's possible to have a partnership, to have a partnership with them. And so on the International Day of Books, these students, they are here in Como for 1 year, and they attend our Como high schools, spend 1 day with us. They choose one story, one typical story from the country that they are going to read. And it's up to them if they want to read it in Italian. If they feel confident, maybe they want to read it in Italian, because for them, Italian is the second or the third language, and they are learning Italian. Some of them are struggling in school to learn Italian, or they can read it in English. And our children are not only, what can I say, passive listeners, but they also read a typical Italian story that they have chosen with the teachers in return. So this is something, so it's a mutual exchange of stories. Then these kids, these students spend a whole day with us. and they watch our children work with the Montessori material. They have lunch with us. They teach us some words in their native language. Also the alphabet. Sometimes the alphabet is different, as you can see in the central picture. And they teach us easy songs in their language, and maybe some easy steps that we can reproduce with music. Then tomorrow we are going to have Thanksgiving in our school. This was our first event. We started 15 years ago. There was working with me, we were just two English teachers, me and an American teacher, and we decided to introduce something international in our school. They never had any special events before. And Thanksgiving was the first one. And at first, yeah, this is a funny story. So at first, our efforts were not very successful, and Thanksgiving was not very well accepted by anybody, not by the staff, not by the children, and not by the parents. Everybody was complaining about the food because we had a special Thanksgiving lunch. They didn't like the food. And also, probably that was our mistake. We probably told the legend, we said it was a legend, partly true, partly not, of the Pilgrims and the Indians and their friendship, the Native Americans and the friendship they had. And actually, the children were not prepared for that. They were thinking that the story was odd, with no connections with their reality. So and the parents were not happy because they told us many times, we are an Italian school. You should focus on Italian festivals. What's this? This is not Italian. What are you talking about? We don't want our children to celebrate Thanksgiving because it's not Italian. Okay, so after 2 years, and they were very unsuccessful, we decided to stop. Okay, we said, okay, let's give up. But then everybody was coming to our English classroom asking why. Why are you stopping? Because we were enjoying it. Okay. So we resumed the tradition the following year. We tried to improve it. And now, for example, okay, we talk about the food supply chain of Thanksgiving and all the original products coming from the American continent. Then we focus on gratitude. So, for example, in the picture at the bottom center, you see we had, that's the picture of a video lesson that we had. It was a virtual meeting with our then partner school, Scuola Montessori Bergamo, and we were exchanging experiences about Thanksgiving. We were giving them the results of our big research about corn, different varieties of corn, different colors of corn, because in Italy we just have the yellow one and the white one, that's it. But actually in America, you can find different, on the American continent, you can find many different colors. So different colors, different foods. And the children from Bergamo gave us many, many reasons in order to be thankful for. So they gave us many reasons to be thankful. And it was a very nice exchange. In the picture, you see a few examples of activities that we carry out for Thanksgiving. And for example, the children of grade 5 have to present Thanksgiving to the other children in the school, and including the children's house. And they make big menus, one for each class, and then they present the food. Then we also have Thanksgiving poetry. And then, of course, the highlight of the day is Thanksgiving dinner, which is lunch, Thanksgiving lunch. And it is experienced by the children as an, what can I say, anticipation of Christmas. They are really serious about it. For them, it's, you know, anticipation of Christmas. It's Christmas time.
So I'm just going to interrupt you here, Licia. Thank you for all these examples. And I just want to pause a minute on Thanksgiving, because when we were talking and preparing, I was helping you prepare, and you were kind of hesitant because you said Thanksgiving actually was kind of a failure because then it was rejected and we were learning, we didn't do things the way we should have. And I thought that it was really important even to end on this, because it's, because that's how we learn. And I think it's important for people to hear that sometimes you do these experiments and they don't work. And then you have to reflect, and you have to, I think one of the things you mentioned is that you had a teacher in the school that was from the United States. You yourself had lived for a year in the United States. Having some firsthand knowledge of the tradition definitely helps in figuring out how to introduce it. But I also love the way that you involve the students, and having your 5th grade students have to do the research and make presentations to the other children. That's much more meaningful, I think, than just one of their teachers making a presentation. And the other thing that I love about what you've done is that you partnered with the school in Bergamo, because that's another thing that I also have seen that can really make it more impactful for elementary age children, when they can see, and now with the technology we have, they can see that, children their age in another school, even in Italy, but it's doing a similar thing, and then you're sharing with that school. I think these different pieces are really valuable, and it might not be as Thanksgiving in someone else's school, but it may be some other holiday that, seem, because of who's there and who can support
That's
it.
right.
But
Yeah.
I just felt that this was a really nice example. And then the end of the story, now it's one of the holidays everyone looks forward to most.
That's right.
The other thing I really just want to take a moment to emphasize is the way in which, over the years, you have been incredibly resourceful in finding resources in where you are. You mentioned the vocational school next door, and then they can prepare and serve meals. You mentioned inviting exchange students who are staying in your city for a year to come on book day. I just think they sound like very simple things, but not all of us have the ingenuity and the initiative to go out and make those connections. And really, I'm just pointing it out because I think it really illustrates how sometimes it's easy to feel like we don't have resources if we don't see them in our own school community. But if we start looking a little bit further in the town where we are, the city where we are, often we can find these creative solutions. So I just wanted to congratulate you on that
Thank you.
work and highlight it for other people. So hopefully other people will get inspired too. So thank you.
Thank
I know
you.
you have
Well,
to wrap up, right?
yes, yeah. Then we are also an Erasmus Plus school. Shall I just spend a few words? Actually, I would like just to say something about resources. Also, our parents can be resources. For
Mhm.
example, not all of them, some of them. We have to pick the right parents that are available, that want to help. For example, at the very beginning, when we resumed the activity, to invite American mother, and we organized a proper press conference, and she was the person interviewed. We had prepared questions, and all the questions were about what do you do in America for Thanksgiving, and it was the mother who told them. And they wrote a newspaper article. We have a newspaper in our school. And so the article was then printed before Thanksgiving. And so that's another way. Also, the parents can be a resource sometimes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And last, since 2017, we have been working on 3 Erasmus projects. The countries that are colored in light blue are all the partner countries we have worked with. We worked 3 times with Spain, also with the UK before Brexit. We worked with Wales and with Crete, the Czech Republic. We were in Ostrava, and Poland, Lithuania in Vilnius, and Finland. We did 3 projects. You see the logos there. The logos are made by the children. It's part of the activities that the children have to make for the project. So instead of just having Erasmus Plus, we have Erasmus Plus and the project that gives an identity, and the logo that gives an identity to the project. So we have 3 of them.
Great.
And we celebrate Europe Day. For us, it's a very important moment. And that's the end. I mean, we do other things, but I'm available for questions, for anything you want to
I have a
know.
simple question. When is Europe Day? I have never been aware of it. Sorry to say. When does it happen? What month?
Sorry?
When,
Europe Day?
When is it? What month is it in?
Europe Day is in May, the 9th of May.
Okay.
Yeah, the 9th of May. Yes.
So
last year we had Europe Week. So the whole week was about European themes, but we usually celebrate one day, Europe Day. Last year was an exception.
So again, just to invite people in our audience, if you have questions for Licia or comments or inspiration, please write them in the chat. Right now, Licia, I just see one very nice comment, and it's from well, maybe Kavita, I can just invite you to open your mic and you can, I don't have to read it for you, you can say it yourself.
Hi, Licia. Thank you very much for your presentation and all your wonderful ideas.
Welcome.
Comment was about the list. I think you talked about having a list for new parents who were becoming part of your school community, and maybe you said that they also had a contact or a partner family. I'm not sure if you mentioned that, but in my years of working in more international settings, I think that it's something that's super needed and incredibly valuable, and not always as easy to implement as we would hope. You know, sometimes there's a little resistance of feeling like, you know, maybe that's stepping too much into the life of the family, or it's not necessary, or any of those things. But I think it's great that your school does it. I think it's needed.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yeah, I agree. I think it's needed. It's necessary. Absolutely. Yes, I agree.
So there's one very straightforward question. I don't know if it has a straightforward answer, but someone asked, how does the school newspaper work?
Okay, now we have an editorial office. We have an office made by the children of especially grade 5, and they have their jobs and responsibilities. We set up deadlines. So we have the photographer, we have the video maker, because we also make videos. We have the story writer, the reporter. We have the one in charge of the layout. And not monthly, of course, every 3 months, we issue our newspaper. Now it's mostly in digital form, But actually, it depends on the year and on the resources available. Sometimes we start from the paper. So we start from the actual things that you can touch. The children write or type, then they print, then we scan the newspaper, we scan it, and we make it digital. We put it on these open source systems that help you browse through the pages. Okay, like we have in Italian one that is called ISUU, we say. And so we put all our files in it, and we assemble the newspaper. The newspaper, what is the newspaper about? It's about news, sometimes we choose a special theme that we want to develop in the whole newspaper. We always have an English page and Italian pages. We also have advertisements that are invented by the kids, and they're usually very funny. We also have the page full of jokes. Usually the nicest ones are when we have a theme and the children try to make up their own jokes about the theme of the newspaper. So they're not just jokes, but they are jokes about the theme. And they have, so the children have their meetings, they decide what to publish. And then we have one person that is responsible for ensuring that everybody's doing what they are supposed to do. So there is a person that is a supervisor, and it's not the teacher, but it's one of the kids. And then, you know, the newspaper is what it is, but what is important is the process. And so they have to meet deadlines, they have to take on the responsibilities, and they have to carry out what they said they were going to do. So, and yeah, it's nice.
Right. Okay, that sounds fabulous. And I'm sure that you've just inspired a lot of people who are listening now, if they already have this in school, or maybe they're going to start doing something similar. And, you know, my question is always would be, how much adult supervision is involved in setting it up? Is that something you did, or was that another teacher who was organizing it?
It's never me by myself. No,
Okay.
no, it's something that we do together, in team with other teachers. It's not just me. And not only the second language teachers. We try really to work in team with the class teachers who speak Italian, and all these activities, also the activities that I tried to describe, are all done together with Italian teachers. So it's not us. And also these events are not just episodes, but they are prepared before, and then they also have a follow-up at the end. So it's not just a special day and then that's it, we just pack it away and
Right.
we'll repeat it next year. No. We prepare it. So we prepare and then we live it. Okay, we experience the day and then we wrap it up, but slowly. And we also leave material, learning material, and material for work for the children also in the following days, even in the following weeks after the event.
So much attention to detail. I mean, it's really amazing. I have one more specific question here. Someone asked, when you said you have in primary you have 3 teachers and in secondary 2 teachers, how many L teachers do you have per class? And in primary, those 3 teachers are for how many children? I think maybe we first need to clarify that by primary, you mean elementary, we would say in the United States. So,
yeah.
Well,
5 years.
confusion with vocabulary sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primary school for us, we use the Italian word primaria, scuola primaria. It's 5 years. The children are from 6 years old to 11 years old. And in our school, we have now 8 classes. So some of the classes are double. And we have 3 teachers. The teachers specialize in one group of classes. So they do not follow the children as they grow up and step up levels. And they specialize in a group at a certain level. So we have the starters, the beginners, and we have a teacher. We have the children of grade 3 and 4, and we have another teacher. And then we have the children of grade 5, usually 2 classes. We have 2 different classes. The children of grade 5 have another teacher, usually the coordinator, so that the other teacher, the L2 teacher can have also some additional time to coordinate and organize work in the school, and not only in primary elementary school, but also what is being done from nursery to secondary school, Erasmus projects included.
So maybe it'd be helpful if you said how many students in total are in the primary years in your school?
Now, a total, well, it should, they are about 100 and about 140, 140.
And so
Okay.
for 40 children,
150.
you have 3
Yeah.
teachers, and from what you said, those teachers, each one focuses on like 2 different grade levels, right?
Yeah. Yes. Except for grade 5, usually there is the teacher of grade 5 just has grade 5, and then she's also the coordinator of the whole English team. Yes, yeah. And also she's in charge of the library.
Okay.
So we have a school library with a fairly good amount of English books. Yeah.
And so you're grade 5, they're the oldest children, and so you ask them to step up and do more extra projects, more extra work.
Yeah.
For
they run the library, so they are responsible for the library.
Right.
And for the loans of books, so they have to keep track of the books that go out and come back in. We try to teach them also to give advice and recommend books, English books, and they are the ones in charge. But of course, there is also the English teacher who acts as a supervisor. And while our oldest kids are kids of secondary school, but they are in a separate building in a village near the city of Como. And our coordinator is also the coordinator of those kids. But certainly, having them in a separate building doesn't help. It's a big challenge. So it's difficult to work with them. I know that virtually we can do lots of things now online, and also they're not that far away. It's just 5 minutes by car, but still, the distance doesn't help at all, actually.
So there's one more comment. Alvida, do you want to open your mic and just share your thoughts with Licia directly, or I can read what you wrote?
I just wanted to say, really thank you very much for your presentation. It was really helpful, and it's given me lots of fantastic ideas. It was really inspiring I'm just taking over the adolescent class in Switzerland. So and I've worked in all, as well as teaching different areas, like an editor and journalist and stuff. And I think a project like a newspaper would be fantastic for the adolescent class. So, but everything you shared, the menus of the world, it's all really fantastic. And my students, a lot of them have lived in several countries. So yeah, it's not as homogenous, but they're very interested in other cultures. So it's very inspiring how you've done that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, nice.
It
Oh,
is
nice. Okay. Yeah. Also, something else that can be done easily in secondary school, we also do it in primary school, primary elementary school, is video making. Not the teacher filming the kids, but giving all responsibility for everything to the kids.
Mhm.
And also the assembling of the movie, they are small videos, short ones. Okay, the assembling of the movies, the musics, they choose the script, they prepare the props if they are necessary, and then they film, and then they assemble the video, and then we have the videos available. We have some very funny ones, and it's not necessary to be that fluent in the second language, because even the routine questions, if they have the right setting, when I say routine questions, I'm talking about how are you, where are you from, what's your job, do you like your job? Okay, based on these routine questions, you can make lots of videos in funny situations, and the children love it, and also the viewers. So the teachers, when they see it, and also the parents, when they see the videos, they have lots of fun.
Okay, well, I think we'll pause here and we will ask our second mentee question, and kind of rephrased our aha moment. And what we're asking you today is, what idea from this talk has inspired you the most? The international storytellers. Yeah, I really like that one too. Connections among everyone, schools, people, teacher, community, parents. Breakfast of the World, promoting intercultural events. That so much of the responsibility of the children is on English as being a connector, not just another subject. Yeah, I think that's also really valuable. Intercultural exchange ideas were very inspiring, using menus of the world, celebrating special days, using one event or menu from each continent was also great. The newspaper is fantastic. All of the hands-on activities, it makes it more exciting and practical. Yeah, and that's a common thread when we're talking about second language learning, that to make an impact, things need to be visual, because if a child doesn't have that much, it's still a second language, they still need that visual prompt. And obviously we know doing things with your hands helps you remember later, or helps create a different kind of motor memory that you associate with a certain vocabulary or a certain event. And that's, children of this age, they love doing things. So yes, and sharing lots of ideas.
Certainly planning and carrying out activities with all the teachers of the school is important. To find a way to work together is very, very important. It goes without saying, of course. I know it's basic, it's something that we all know. But then sometimes it can be challenging to because sometimes the teachers, the L1 teachers say, yeah, but if we are doing this, we are not really complying with the national curriculum, and we need to comply with the national curriculum. But we have to find together a way to get the national, all these entities, all these areas, national curriculum, intercultural activities, the second language, all intertwine, and it's possible. And even you could even add Erasmus, and as long as you find a way to make connections and intertwine all different areas. It takes some work, but it's possible.
Well, yes, and you've just shown us that it's possible. And I think that's the important inspiration as well. And it may take a while. It's not just 1 year to the next. These projects take a while to organize and build up, but I think that you really have offered a great example. And speaking of that, Licia has said that when we post the recording of this talk on our website, that we're also going to post a PDF of her slides, so you can have access to her slides as an easy reference. So, well, let me thank you again, Licia. I mean, it's just been amazing. I knew it, but we're so happy that you were able to come and share this marvelous experience. And I keep using the word inspire, but I think that that's what you've done. You've inspired a lot of people, and you'll continue to inspire people as they watch this later as a recording.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
To wrap up, I just want to say, as I have mentioned before, we're doing less community conversations this school year because we're working on other project outcomes. So for now, we're going to take a break until after Christmas. And on January 13th, it will be Denise Fernandez, who is an English teacher, a children's house English teacher at a school in Spain, in another very monolingual place. And Denise has been at that school for a while, but she brought a lot of research from other schools. So I think that, again, it will provide a lot of inspiration. And then on February 21st, actually a colleague of Licia's, Roberta Adena, who is in Bergamo, Italy, she is going to speak about her school's experience with making exams, national exams and Cambridge exams, part of her school's Montessori experience. And I think that is also a topic that not everyone, but I think a lot of people will be interested to hear how they've made that work at their school. And there's more being scheduled. The next time we see you, we'll have a fuller calendar, but that's what we have to announce for today. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and for those who shared your comments and thoughts. It's very much appreciated. And I think Licia also, in the version of her presentation that we'll share, she was going to include an email address. So if you have additional comments for her, she and her colleagues are always happy to hear feedback